Welcome to my lovely city garden. Today is planting day. I already have the beds all pretty much prepped. So what I'm going to do now is go through all of the plants I have and pretty much just lay them out where they're going to go before I get to planting. It's still really hot and sunny right now. So I'm just going to water the seedlings and then get them ready to come in the garden by just kind of laying them out where they're going to go. Where I'm going to put everything is still a mystery. I have an idea, but not exactly. That's why just getting out here, laying them all out with the plants in hand is much easier. Let's get started. So all along the fence here are all my vining type tomatoes, small fruit tomatoes. So my yellow pear, my chocolate cherry, and my red cherry. Since they're climbers and small little fruits, I figured they could naturally use the fence as a trellis. So when I'm planting them, I'm going to plant them a little bit away from the fence, but they'll naturally just find the fence and start growing up it. Oops. Dry. 5 eggplants. I'm going to water these and figure out where they're going to go. I'm thinking on this side, besides all the smaller tomatoes, I wanted to put the peppers, both hot and bell, but I want to separate them. And I also want to put, I think, the eggplant. So I'm going to go separate the peppers and see what we have there for room. Alright, so the bell peppers so far I think are going to stay here, but you never know. I might change my mind. I was going to put them all side by side, but I needed to be able to have lots of space to get through and prune as needed and water and all of that. So even though it would be easy for me to reach in, I just want to make sure I have enough space to get back there to those plants as well and have lots of airflow. I'm going to keep another small path here, and then I'm going to do eggplants right here. Eggplants look cute. I have 5 of them, so figured I'd put them. Looks like a playing card. Alright, hot peppers are going here. In case you're wondering, the cardboard in between is just to show that it's a path. Okay, so I have 6 of one variety of jalapeno. And then I have 1 single of a different variety of jalapeno. I'm going to put that at the end of this row, which is 2 of the cayenne pepper. And then my last 2, my 2 habaneros, I believe I'm just going to put them in pots. I'm undecided on that. And before I plant those 2, I'm just going to do a little bit more research and see how big they get. I don't want them to get overshadowed by some of the other plants that I know that are going to get taller. Never grew them before, so I'm just unsure. But for now, that could be their home. Now on to the tomatoes. I'm going to use this side of the garden for my tomatoes, with the exception of a couple of pathways that I'll make as I go along, as I start laying things out. I'm not sure what's going where, except I do know that my brandywine pinks I want to have at the end over here. They get very large and tall, and I want to build some kind of structure using that side of the larger fence. Building stuff will come later. So I'll start off with the brandywine pink and separate the rest of them and see what we got. A few more brandy. I think I had 15 of them. Sicilian. These guys look awesome. Purples. There's so much thinking involved, but here's the patch of Brandywine Pink. Looks like I have 11. Then I'm going to have 3 right here near the parsley that are the Virginia Sweets trio. Then I want a little bit of space to be able to get through. And these are black crim. Move the black crim a little bit so I can fit all my purples over here. 6 of these are the purples. And then those last 2 are green zebra, and right across the path, more green zebra. So I'm going to continue to add tomatoes down into this patch. The Valencia coming up next. This is just a basis. Once I stop planting, I'll make sure that everything is a foot apart. Let's grab some more. This is the Rosso Sicilian. Pretty good. This is all my indeterminate tomatoes. I still have more tomatoes to come in, but they are the determinate tomatoes, which means instead of like all of these tomatoes, they'll grow and they'll produce fruit. You can harvest them and they'll continue to produce fruit until frost. A determinate will get all its greens, and then all the fruit will come at the end of the season when it's all in at the same time. Here is the Roma type tomato. I have San Marzano that I had last year, and also some other Roma that I got at the Dollar Tree. I was actually thinking of putting them somewhere else in the garden, away from the rest of the tomatoes, since they'll be out of the way, and besides just letting them grow, put them along this side edge. I also need to fit on this side of the garden is my zucchini and squash. I usually need a ton of space, but I like to grow mine vertically. And I grew mine last year in this spot over here where those weeds are growing. Weeds, flowers, whatever you want to call them. There are all these cute little yellow flowers, and it looks like they're all going to seed. So I'm going to need to pull that out. And my plan is to have the squash and zucchini over on this side of the garden. All of this mustard that's gone to flower, that reseeded itself last year, will be coming out. But I just have it there to attract the pollinators until I'm ready to pull this stuff and get those type of veggies in the garden. I actually have some morning glories still growing. I'm pulling them out as I get to them. They're gorgeous, but I don't want them strangling my plants. So if I have some growing up, I'm going to let them go along the fence like I did last year, but I'm not going to let them come into the garden where the veggies are. What do you think, Tana? Is that a good place for them? All right, I have about 15 of the Roma. Let's see if I can fit them over here. Oh, that one didn't make it. Another one didn't make it. That's gonna happen. That's why I do extras. 4 more to fit. And I think I could do that once I get this guy out of here and make this patch a little bit bigger, getting rid of all those weeds down there. I should be able to fit the last 4. I have 3 here and 1 behind me. I think that will work. I'm doing sort of a diagonal thing over here, so they're still about a foot apart from each other, but not exactly single file. They won't all fit. So hopefully that'll give them enough room. And they're successful this year, so at the end of the year, I can can and make my own sauce. I'll do it. And just like the other plants, when I plant them, I'll make sure that they are separated with enough space so they grow and have plenty of room to thrive. Everything always takes longer than expected. It took a while, a lot longer than I thought, but I got everything laid out and I am so happy about that. Not everything, I mean there's more stuff to come out, more stuff to go in. But my eggplants, hot peppers, sweet peppers, and tomatoes are all laid out and ready to get planted. Look at these 2 habanero that I think I'm going to put in pots. But not today. Along with the other veggies, they'll have to wait till tomorrow. If you want to join me in the garden again, consider subscribing so the universe can get that video to you. Peace.